2022. Wow, it feels like the future. I never thought I would make it this far. My whole life I thought I would always live in the present, but here we are. Congratulations to all of you who shared this achievement with me. To start this year on the right foot, we'll talk about one of the most exciting aspects of life on Earth, and that's commuting. No, not commuting in a car or a bus. This is a city bike trilogy. No, not plane commuting. Are you gonna ride a city bike in the plane?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. That's exactly right. There is no place for you to park or unpark your city bike on the planes. I checked, having stations there would be a logistical nightmare. Yes, city bike commuting. Okay. Where did we leave off last time? Ah yes, if you live in Miami, you'll want to have a key fob. It's much less expensive than daily rentals, much more convenient, and much faster. To get your key fob, you go into this unassuming little city bike store in Miami Beach and tell them which subscription you'd like to have. If you're a resident and not a tourist, there's only two options worth considering: unlimited 30-minute rides and unlimited 60-minute rides. With taxes, they cost around $16 and $26.50 respectively. You can ride the bike as many times as you like every day, as long as you park the bike back in the station before 30 or 60 minutes are up. Once parked, you can immediately unpark that or any other bike available, and you can keep riding. If you're late, at least in theory, you pay extra $4.60 for every additional 30 minutes of riding. They have never charged me for keeping the bike longer than I was supposed to, and if you're watching this city bike, thank you very much. Having said that, one might argue I was a good customer for a long time, and I'm not sure everyone would have such a positive experience. I wouldn't recommend testing it out unless you're prepared to lose your precious $4.60.
Don't take my money.
Now that you've decided which membership to choose, you go to their store, where after they give you your shiny new key fob,
Here is your key fob.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
They tell you how to use it to release your bike. First, you place your key fob at the sensor and then press down firmly on the round button next to it, preferably with your other hand, because it's difficult to do it all with one hand. But if you're filming a YouTube video without a tripod, like I'm doing here, you might not have an option. In that case, be prepared to fail miserably for quite a few times. To those of you who prefer not to feel like a failure, I say this: bring a tripod. Once the green light starts flashing, you gently push the bike in, wait for a half a second or so, and then pull it out. No yanking. When you're returning the bike, make sure that this part of the bike that I don't know what to call gets into the stall. Please let me know in the comments what you think this part should be called, because it's very important. Once you park your bike, wait a second or two until the green light flashes 3 times, because that means the station has accepted your bike, unless there is an issue with the stall or the station. Make sure to check if the bike is properly returned by pushing in and pulling out. If the bike stays in the stall, you're good to go. Otherwise, if the bike comes out, which happens extremely rarely, just park it in a different stall and make sure it doesn't come out. If the bike isn't returned properly and some bad person takes your bike out of a faulty stall that didn't lock your bike in, you might be responsible for the damage they do or for them stealing your bike. Oh, shut up. It's never happened to me, and I've never heard of it happening to anyone, although I didn't do absolutely any research. Having said that, it is a possibility. City Bike has a bike replacement charge of $800, which I surmise would not be a lot of fun to pay, but I've been wrong before, very frequently. If you are one of those rare humans who has fun paying $800 for replacement charges,
Take my money.
then tell me all about that right next to your opinion about what this part should be called. This is also very important because YouTube needs to know if you consider this video worth commenting on or sharing with your friends, or even better, acquaintances. You never know which one of your acquaintances is secretly fantasizing about moving to Miami and wondering perhaps every day, why would I go through all of the trouble of renting the city bike if I could just buy my own bike and ride it instead? Luckily for them, we have the answer. The most important reason is that the stations are everywhere, at least in the most popular parts of Miami, and you never need to do any repairs or maintenance. Once you park a bike, you don't need to worry about it being stolen. You don't need to carry a lock. You don't need to search for a safe place to lock it and wonder if it would still be there when you return with or without all of its components. Unless you have a very secure place to leave your bike at all points of your commute, it would not be overly wise to use your own bike unless you don't care much if that bike gets stolen from you. On the other hand, that is a reasonable strategy to employ with some bikes. If you do have a place to keep a bike when you're home, and a lot of people don't because they live in relatively small apartments without a yard, then it might be worth considering getting an inexpensive second-hand bike. Now, let's discuss the drawbacks of riding city bikes. They're not comfortable for a lot of people. They have only one size and only 3 speeds. And they're heavy, which might be a problem when you're riding up a hill or an uneven terrain. However, all of that is not an issue for most riders because their rides are short enough and on flat enough terrain for the comfort not to matter much. At any rate, you do need to keep in mind that sometimes the station you'd like to rent the bike from will be empty, or it might be malfunctioning and not letting you release a bike. And when you want to return it, the station you were gonna park in might be full. If you're in a hurry, that could be a major inconvenience. You could use the Transit app or a City Bike app, which I never used but it does exist, to see if the stations are empty and where the closest stations with bikes are. But that app is not always accurate and it doesn't update in real time, so if the app says there is only one bike left at the station, there might in fact be none. Lastly, if you'd like to use the city bike for exercise, which is what I was doing while filming all of this footage, then the final installment of our Humble Little Trilogy will address next week many of the obstacles you're bound to encounter while doing that. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, but I'll be back.
Goodbye forever!